What's up, Thrashers, and welcome back once again to the Thrash Maniac 99 YouTube channel, and I am back with yet another album review, and today I'm talking about probably the biggest release coming out on May 23rd, or that came out on May 23rd, and that is the latest offering from Witchcraft, IDAG. Like I said, this also came out on May 23rd, this time on Heavy Psych Sounds Records. And, well, it's been a while since I've listened to this band. I only listened to one album. It was their album in 2016, and I can't for the life of me remember what it was called. They did have one album after that called Black Metal, and now here we are with a new one. And this is the first one in 5 years for this band. So for those who don't know, this is a Swedish doom metal band that likes to incorporate elements of psychedelic rock and hard rock into their sound. But I would say this album, for the most part, is doomy, but with a lot of swing and swagger to it. And we kick things off with the title track, which immediately, air of familiarity, and it's Black Sabbath, which I'm always down to hear Sabbath-worshipping bands, and this album, I think in particular, really likes to suckle at the teat of Black Sabbath, but do it in their own unique way. Like, for example, like the first 4 tracks on this album are lyrics and titles all in Swedish. So, yeah, bear with me on this. But with the title track, yeah, it has these like dark melodic riffs that feel very much like Sabbath. It's pretty damn doomy. And I like how even towards the end of the song, it does get into like more up-tempo and also even borders on prog a little bit, because you do get some like off-time rhythms to kind of shake up the rhythm section a little bit. Even some like little sci-fi synths, like to add a little bit of effect. Almost reminded me of something you would have heard off of Sabbath Bloody Sabbath. But then we get into Drömmer av is, where it gets a little bit more mid-tempo as opposed to slow. Like, well, you do get a couple of doomy parts, but for the most part, it's mostly a mid-tempo rocker, kind of like something from like the mid to late 70s period of Sabbath. And it's actually one of the catchier songs on the entire album. Then we get into Drömmen om död och förruttnelse, or nays, I don't know. This one gets off to a bit more of a melodic start with the guitars before it just settles into like this really cool like boogie groove. And I really love this song, particularly for the drum work. The drum work, it's just awesome turnovers and nice accenting with the cymbals. Like these drums on this song, 2 thumbs up pretty much. And then we get into Om du vill, where it's largely a clean melodic song. Like, it's pretty much mostly clean melodic guitars, but they're done very, very beautifully. And it's kind of like one of those more impassioned songs on the album. And then we get into an acoustic interlude with Glanton. And then we get into the next 4 tracks where it's lyrics and titles in English. So we get Burning Cross, which this is maybe one of the heavier songs on the album. Like, it's heavy and doomy, but it's still got a lot of swagger behind it. And dare I say, it has some later Sabbath vibes, like Dehumanizer and 13 in particular. Like, it almost feels like a song that could have been on either one of those albums. But I do love how they'll change the mood a little bit on this song to feel a little more soothing, a little more calming, like as if you're going from, you know, seemingly like in a dark forest surrounded by monsters to then all of a sudden you're in like these big fluffy clouds where you're just like, what could ruin this? And then the song builds the mood back up and then back to the heavy swagger doom that's going on. And then we get into Irreligious Flamboyant Flame, bluesy Sabbath swings all across the board. All across the board. It's a fun song, and dare I say it's another one of them catchy ones that you get on the album. And then we get to the next 2 tracks. First, Christmas, which is pretty much an acoustic piece with wonderful vocals. Like, I would say probably the most beautiful song on the entire album. Like, it's very folky, it's very passionate too, which I definitely appreciate a passionate, beautiful song like this. And then the song Spirit, while you do get some like sinister, doomy riffs, it's for the most part a more melodic, atmospheric feeling song. Both of these songs are over 6 minutes, but provide something unique and different. Like Christmas being, like I said, more of a passionate acoustic piece, whereas Spirit's largely a melodic, atmospheric doom piece, but done very well. And then the closer, Amduville's Slight Return, it's just a 44-second return to the song earlier, but with acoustics and more vocals done in Swedish. And that's how we end this thing. Lead work wise, I really enjoyed the lead work on this album. It definitely feels like some leads you would hear Tony Iommi do, or even like the guys from Candlemass would do, or any guitarist that's been in Pentagram. Like, it definitely has like a doom metal lead style. Production wise, it definitely sounds old school, but still kind of sounds like it was done in the modern day. Although there were a couple of issues I did have with the album. It's primarily starting the album off with your longest track at 8 minutes. I honestly feel like that song could have been the closer. I think if you'd start this album off with a song like Burning Cross or Irreligious Flamboyant Flame, I think it would have helped make the album flow a little bit better. And then, of course, you know, the interlude was probably not needed. It probably could have just been attached to Burning Cross. And then the closer, that could have been attached to Amduville, the actual song. And then also, perhaps, in the song Irreligious Flamboyant Flame, and even at times in the mix, it's a little bit off. Like, for the most part, the vocals are a little bit too out front in the mix. And then, but especially in Irreligious Flamboyant Flame, the guitars are a little bit back in the mix, and like the bass kind of overtook the guitars. So I think if they had gotten the mix sorted out on all these songs and just changed up a few things, I think this would have been phenomenal. But as it is, I'm going to give it a 3.5 out of 5. I thought it was really, really good. It was a fun, like, nostalgia trip for me. So if you are a fan of most especially Black Sabbath, but also Pentagram, maybe even St. Vitus, definitely check this out. But of course, those are just my opinions. What did you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe, all that fun stuff. But until next time, thank you for watching. Keep your horns high and your dreams wet.